Hi and welcome to the podcast. My name is Kristen. You can find me on Instagram as Skein Yarn and on Ravelry as K10, that's K10. Hope you're doing really well. It is a Thursday here and it's a beautiful spring day. I will say it's school holidays, so our next door neighbour here at our studio, he's a mechanic and he has small kids, and so they're there in the shop with him, and so there might be a little bit of noise. I have been knitting a lot, but one project I can't show you because I'm knitting with yarn that is a special colorway for something that's coming up. So I can't show you that, which is a bit of a shame because I actually knit mainly on that, so I wish I had that to show you. But the pattern I used was the Sophie shawl, which I've knit before. It is a petite knit pattern. Yeah, it's just a very plain but really relaxing project. It's a very simple elongated scarf or shawl, and it's very wearable. I've knit, I think, this is the second one I've knit. The first one I knit, I used our Cushy DK. This time I've knit Cushy DK as well, but I'm pretty sure it's easy to, well, it is very easy to adapt to fingering weight or sport weight if you wanted to. I'll put a picture up so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm sure you all know the Sophie's scarf. It was quite a big pattern when it came out. It is a garter stitch, so what I love about garter stitch shawls is that you can use speckled yarns or a little bit more variegated yarns, and because it is a garter stitch, it shuffles the colours up really nicely, so when you're actually knitting it, little speckles pop through. And yeah, it's a very mindful knit in the way that, well, you don't really have to think about what you're knitting. It's very, very simple, and it is actually a very wearable shawl. I love it because it's almost a shawl and a scarf combined. It's very long and it's very slender, so you can wrap it around your neck like a scarf, and yeah, it's lovely. So yeah, I finished that, and I used 2 skeins of our Cushy DK in this special colour, and I used completely all of the skeins, which is another great thing about that pattern, is that you can just knit until you're finished with one skein, join the next, start the decreases, and you know you've got enough to finish the shawl and you're not going to have any leftovers, so that's really good. So yeah, that was on my needles and off my needles since the last podcast. I have finished the Cumulus, which is what I'm wearing. This is by PetiteKnit as well. I'm not sure if I actually had finished this the last episode. I think I might have, but I hadn't blocked it. I can't remember. The actual pattern itself is knit with a lace weight yarn held together. So I used our So Fine, which is a Suri silk, and I used our Petrol colorway, and we had an update when I released this yarn, and it sold really well, and there was only a couple of skeins of this color left, and I grabbed them for myself to make this as a sample. And yes, there were only a couple left, so I didn't have exactly the amount that the pattern had called for. It was like 1 skein short, but I was pretty sure that I would be able to get the sweater out of it if I cropped the body. But as it turns out, that's not what happened. I ended up knitting the whole thing pretty much, except for maybe a quarter of the sleeve, and that's when I ran out of yarn. So I had to dye myself a skein for the sleeve, and as is what normally happens with hand dyed yarn, because I had to dye a separate yarn, it was just a slightly darker than the rest, but luckily I had stopped the sleeve with enough of the old yarn left over so that I could mix in this next batch of colour. So I don't know if you can see, but it's sort of I can't really show you. It does sort of fade down to a darker colour, but it's only really if you're aware of it, if I point it out, or if you really, really look at it very hard. Otherwise you don't really notice. And yes, like I said, I knit the sleeves to a bracelet length, maybe a little bit shorter. Again, I was trying to conserve yarn, but yeah, I really didn't need to, because as it turns out I needed to dye more yarn anyway. It's a really, really nice knit. It's a top-down pattern and with just simple neck shaping. The only thing I would do next time, I didn't really think about when I knit this, because I've knit another sweater that had the same edge, but it's got an I-cord edge at the bottom, and I'll show you. As you can see, it's not too bad, I guess, when I stand up, but it does tend to roll, and I don't love that edge. So I think next time, I stood really close to the microphone then, so my voice probably got really loud. Sorry about that. So the edge, the hem at the bottom, I would definitely do a rib. I just prefer it. And actually, I was watching a movie just as I was finishing this, and actually no, I'd finished it, and it was, the edge was actually rolling, and funnily enough, one of the characters in the movie was wearing exactly the same sweater as this, but at the bottom there was just a simple ribbed hem, and yeah, I was like, oh, should I pull it out? But then I thought, well, this is a Suri silk and it's very fluffy, and if I try to remove, like pull out the stitches, it'll probably snag, and then it will knot, and you know, it'll be worse. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. It's fine. But yes, next time if I knit this, I will definitely do a ribbed hem, or if I do something similar, I will definitely do a ribbed hem, which is easy to add to a sweater. Now for whips, I have been working a lot on the Bao Bao Shawl by Isabell Kraemer. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I always knit on very short cables, which I really like, particularly when it's very large shawls, because I like to be able to zip through them fast and not have to adjust the stitches too much. So yeah, it just is a problem when I'm trying to show you the shawl. I have knit, well actually I'm almost finished the striping not drop stitch, what's it called? There's a name for it which I can't think. Anyway, I've almost finished this kind of stripy pattern. I have this last green one to go, I have one more pink, and then I'm on to the edge, which is a ribbed edge. And yeah, it's a lovely pattern to knit on. You don't need to look at the pattern, it's very easy. It's by Isabell Kraemer, I should mention, and her patterns are wonderful anyway. I'm using our Sportlicious base in the colours Sweet Cheeks, which is the pink, Brass, which is the kind of orangey colour, and Olive. And the hem will be done, the border will be done in the brass colour. So yeah, it's going to be large, very large shawl. I was a little bit worried because I'm almost ready to run out of the Sweet Cheeks, but I realised I have another skein of this anyway. That's I just hadn't caked it up, because the shawl itself takes 2 skeins of the 2 main colours used in the body, which is these 2, and then it's 1 skein of the contrast kind of colour. But honestly, I've seen this shawl on Instagram, and there's been a ton of people who have knit it, and they've just changed the stripes to however they want to do it, whatever they've got in their stash. I've seen scrap ones knit up, which look amazing. Actually, Isabell Kraemer did a scrap one too. It's just such a lovely pattern. We do have kits in the shop too. They're dye to order. If you're interested, I'll pop a link below. This is kit 1 that I'm pretty sure this is kit number 1. You'll see it if you go and have a look at the shop. But yeah, it's so nice. So this will be a sample for the shop during our spring and summer. because I'm not going to be able to wear it. It's going to be too hot anyway. And yeah, what else to say about this? Just that I really enjoy it. It's such a good pattern. The other whip that I'm working on is the Warmth cardigan by Kate Oates, and I have not knit on that at all. So yes, that's just been put to the side, but I am going to start working on that after I finish the Bao Bao Shawl, which will not take long to complete. And yes, the Warmth cardigan, I showed that last episode. I'm basically on the body of that, so it won't take me long to finish at all. Yeah, so I've got Moriaty vest by NCL Knits. I'm knitting that for my mum. I still have the yarn, which I have here actually. I dyed this up last week, but I haven't obviously cast it on yet. So I'm going to be using this colour, which is our Solstice colourway on our Cushy DK. So I want to get that cast on maybe this weekend, because it's my birthday at the end of October, and we'll be going down to see my parents and my brother, so I want to try and get this done for then. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. It is a vest, so it's pretty easy, and it is out of DK weight, so I should be able to knit this up pretty quickly, but I would really like to be able to take it down and give it to her then. But we'll see. If I can't, that's not a big issue, but I'm going to try. Nadia's patterns, I've done the Cosmic Tea, and there's another pattern which is hanging up behind me, which I cannot think of the name. Yeah, so I've done the Cosmic Tea, and this is another one of her patterns called the Lorette, and I actually had someone in here yesterday, the day before, who popped into the shop, and they were drooling over this and wanting to knit it. So this is the Lorette sweater, and yeah, she has really lovely patterns. This one I actually knit with our sport weight yarn, and I held it, the actual stripes I did with our frizz base, which is a boucle, so it adds a little bit of texture. The pattern itself is for fingering weight yarn, but sport weight is, you can usually substitute sport weight for fingering if it's a lighter sport, which ours is. So yeah, I highly recommend this pattern. It was so lovely, and actually this is a great sweater for now, where it's still a little bit cool in the morning. Yeah. So the other top that I have ready to cast on is the Modular top by Juana Román. And she's a Spanish designer who has just sort of popped up on my radar. She has been designing for a while, but I actually found her on Ravelry. I was looking at a few of her patterns to add to a newsletter, but then I also had a friend of mine in Queensland, Julia. She messaged me and was raving about her patterns, and of course I then went and had a closer look at what she had done, and yeah, she's got great things. So this modular top is perfect for this time of year, and I'll put a picture up obviously so you can see what I'm talking about, but it's a very loose A-shaped like little singlet top. It's sort of quite roomy down the bottom, and I love that in summer. And it's knit, I think you start with the straps, then you knit the front and back, and then you join it down the sides. So the front and the straps will be knit with Blackberry and Autumn Vista, and this is our Llano base, which has a little bit of linen, so this is great for this time of year. And then the side sections will be the Autumn Vista and Fluro Peach, which is being really washed out by the camera from what I can see. But this is it's an interesting colour, this Fluro Peach, because it is actually dyed with fluorescent pink as one of the colours. So it can be quite bright, but at the same time it's the other colour that I use to add into this kind of flattens that Fluro Peach bit out, so it's not too bright, but at the same time it is quite eye-catching. It's become a very popular colour, this one. People who come into the shop, funnily enough, always drawn to it. I'm really keen to cast this one on as well, and I really want to get started knitting on this. This will probably be a sample, but it's going to be hard not to not wear this. Not to not wear this. Anyway, we will see. Yeah, so that is all for my knitting. Now also I have just a little bit of yarn to show you that we're putting in the shop this week, mainly because we have some new colours and I want to just talk about a new base that we added to the shop. But before I do that, I just wanted to say that we have a sock set giveaway for the podcast for you guys. Last week I did Halloween colours for the shop. They're all one of a kind and they sold really quickly. So I am going to be doing some more either Halloween style ones or either Sugar Rush. I'm not quite sure which one I'm going to go for, but they'll be on the shop next week. But yeah, this was one of my favorites. This one is called Mystic. And what I did was I went through Pinterest and I searched for Halloween illustrations that I really liked, and I found the artists and I tagged them on the shop. So I actually did colours inspired by their illustrations. So this one is lovely because it's a cat in I think it's sitting on a pumpkin, but I really liked the illustration and I loved the colours that came of this one, so I thought I would give this away to you guys. So I guess my question for this giveaway would be, what is your favorite thing about Halloween, or do you not really do Halloween? I know for us in Australia it's kind of a new thing. When I was growing up we never had Halloween, but I've embraced it. I don't go out obviously and do trick-or-treating, but I love on Halloween night, Paul and I have a tradition where we watch scary movies. So yeah, what's a tradition do you have a tradition, or are there things that you like, or what do you do on Halloween? Is there anything, or you don't celebrate it? Tell me below. That's what you've got to do to enter. So you got to subscribe to the channel and comment below, and yeah, you can win. And look, even if you don't want to comment on that, just comment on anything. Comment below. All the comments below will be up for this as a prize, okay? So I'll just go through the comments and randomly pick one and you could win the sock set. Let's talk about this week's yarn. When I was looking through our colorways, I noticed that I don't have a lot of pastel kind of lighter shades in the shop. And I decided to dye up a few for this week. I'm going to sort of sprinkle them in every now and again. I don't want to dye them all up at once, otherwise you'll have like a whole heap of light shades on the shop and nothing to kind of pair them with. I decided to do a green, a blue and a yellow, and then I did another neutral, because you can never have too many greys and browns. The first one is my favourite out of all of them. This is Custard, and I hope that's not blowing out too much, but it is a very creamy yellow. It's lovely. It does remind me exactly of custard, and when I dyed this it reminded me of Christmas, like with the custard on the pudding, which yeah. So this base actually is our Allure base, which is brand new, and it's a very fine superwash merino, but is it 19.5 micron? It's a really fine micron count, so it's very soft. It actually feels like it has a bit of silk in it. It's a really lovely yarn, and of course it's a sock weight / fingering / 4-ply, however you like to classify these. It's 400 meters in 100 grams. So this is Custard. We have Ghost Green, which is a very pale, like sagey green. It's beautiful. And then Stonewash. This is an interesting color because it has just, I don't know if you can see, but it has this hint of green throughout it. So it's this lovely denim-y blue with a hint of green. And then I did this neutral, which is called Anchor Grey, and it's just a lovely mid-tone grey. So yeah, great for pairing with colours, other colours. I mean, these two look lovely together. So these are in the shop, and then of course I dyed a whole heap of others, mainly speckles. I haven't been dyeing a lot of speckles, but because it's spring I felt like having a bit of colour. So I dyed up Steampunk, which has these lovely aqua and gold speckles. It's such a lovely colour, this one, and it's very popular. And then I dyed up Pink Salt, which is like a peachy rosy pink. Has speckles of citrus and brown, and these two look so good together. So that's Steampunk and Pink Salt. And then I did Fluoro Peach, of course. I always do Fluoro Peach. And this one, which is Bay, this is quite popular too. It's like a sea green, a little bit a hint of aqua, and then of course these lovely sapphire blue speckles and green speckles. It's lovely. I did Marimo, which is another very popular colour. It has that really bright green, but it's sort of subdued with this darker green on the top, over the top of it. It's really, I actually should knit something with this. And I have Tamarind, which is a red purple. It's really hard to photograph this one because it has quite a lot of tonal depths. So it's sort of pink, purple, sort of has a grape and an aubergine colour. It's really pretty. And then we have Inkstone. Is that Inkstone? No. Yes, it is Inkstone. It looks a lot bluer on this base actually. Yes, normally it looks a lot more purple, like that's what it is on another base. Interesting how bases dye differently. So yeah, these are all in the shop now, and yeah, if you're interested I shall pop a link below. I haven't actually done any sample knitting in this yarn yet, which I realized the other day when I had someone in here and we were talking about it because they were wondering how it would knit up, and I said to her, I haven't actually knitted anything, so I might have to look for a pattern this weekend and cast something on. That is it for today, and yeah, like I said, comment below and either let me know what you do for Halloween, or any comment below and you can be in to win a sock set. And yeah, hope you're doing really well, and I will talk to you in 2 weeks time. So until then, happy knitting and keep well, and yeah, talk to you soon. Bye.